Each superintendent should have a daily sign-in, sign-out sheet on their project. At the end of the week, each employee, along with their superintendent, is required to fill out and sign their time card. Both should sign the card. Time cards must be received in the office by 8 a.m. on Monday morning. At that point, they are reviewed by a branch expediter or administrator and then signed off by the respective project manager, prior to inputting it into our accounting system. If the time cards are not received by Monday at 8 a.m., it's possible employees won't have their time entered correctly. The superintendent must have every employee's name and employee number. They also must have the job number they are working on and the appropriate cost codes. Please call the office if you do not have this information, and don't send the time cards in without properly filling out all the information you do have. This time card is completely filled out. The employee worked on 3 different tasks that week with the appropriate cost codes. The top part of each box is only for regular time, and the bottom section of the box is for overtime. An employee does not accumulate overtime until they reach 40 hours that week. This employee had already reached their 40 hours prior to the weekend work they performed. The superintendent utilized the Saturday and Sunday boxes to insert the employee's hours. During certain times of the year, an employee will be asked to travel beyond their normal commute, as dictated by the federal guidelines. Please call the office if you need clarification on this. As you can see from this example, a black X must be inserted in separate boxes to indicate per diem is applicable. The only time that is not job charged is training. All company events and office visits are typically job charged. The training must be scheduled though. These hours must be separated on the time cards with the cost codes. If an employee is taking a vacation day, the vacation request must be attached to the time card and signed off by their superintendent. If a vacation request is not attached, then the employee cannot be paid for that day. If an employee is terminated on a project site, the time card must indicate the day that it occurred and the terminated employee's hours put in that box. When working on certain government projects, typically military bases, prevailing wage will be required to be paid out to that employee. Please indicate as shown for those days working on that government property. If an employee works 4 days and obtains his or her 40 hours, then he or she can take off work on Friday. Please indicate that on the timesheet as you see here. If it's approved shift work, please circle the numbers as shown. If an employee is required to attend jury duty, indicate on the time card and attach the court summons and payment voucher. At Harper, our service projects are administered in an accounting software called Coins, while our construction projects utilize Viewpoint. Please be sure to separate time between the projects and accounting systems. Please indicate on the time card, exactly as shown here, that the employee has called out sick. Please indicate on the time card that the employee is out on bereavement. The project superintendent should only be filling out time cards for employees on his or her project. Please indicate on the time card if an employee was moved midweek to a different project. That way, the office can look for the employee's remaining hours on a different time card. Remember to fill out the time cards completely. After time cards are submitted, we consider them signed off and final. If any revisions are needed, they will have to be reconciled during next week's check run. And remember, those time cards need to be in first thing on Monday morning. If you have more questions, please call the office early in the week.